Team Teofimo Lopez claimed that George Kambosos is a cheater, and I'm gonna talk about that in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, this is seemingly out of nowhere, and I want to know, is Teofimo Lopez all right? Teofimo Sr. did an interview with Fight Hype. The link is in the description, and I'm gonna read what he said and play a little excerpt. Let me know what you guys think.
Yo, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to catch up with you. What do you think of this HANEY Kambosos fight, man? If it comes through, what are your thoughts?
I think, listen, Kambosos is a dirty fighter, you know.
See? Kambosos is a dirty fighter.
Comes through, what are your thoughts?
I think, listen, Kambosos is a dirty fighter. You know, going into that fight, that wasn't the plan that we had. You know, after the first round, my son couldn't breathe. And, you know, it's like somebody shoots you twice. He had 2 holes in his body and he couldn't breathe. Everybody knows what happened. And he started fighting, you know, his fight. You know, my son don't fight like that. You know, we stay
My son don't fight like that, but that, I mean, that's how he fought.
Outside all the time. And, you know, that wasn't our game plan. I couldn't coach him. He was uncoachable because he couldn't breathe, he couldn't box. So, you know, that shit happens, bro, you know. I think Devin has him. Devin has him, you know what I'm saying?
Wow. So for the full interview, link in the description, he said Devin has him. So keep in mind, the question was about Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. And the thing with Teofimo's dad, he said that Kambosos is a dirty fighter, but he started talking about his son being uncoachable, and his son, it felt like he had been shot twice. Actually, here's the direct quote. I got it on the screen for you guys. Quote, "I think George Kambosos is a dirty fighter, but pay attention how he doesn't really illustrate what Kambosos did that was dirty," right? He said, "I think George Kambosos is a dirty fighter. Going into that fight, that wasn't the plan that we have. After the first round, my son couldn't breathe. And if somebody shoots you twice, he had 2 holes in his body, he couldn't breathe," end quote. That's a direct quote. You guys just heard it. Link in the description. Now, I think this is very strange, and I put this on my Twitter, so make sure you guys follow me at Boxingego. Listen, I looked at my stats, my YouTube analytics. 50% of you that consume my content last month subscribed. The other 50% haven't. Maybe you forgot to hit the subscribe button. Maybe you didn't know you weren't subscribed. Sometimes YouTube unsubscribes you. Hit the subscribe button in the bottom, and it goes a long way. Worst case scenario, you can unsubscribe if you ain't feeling the content. Back to this situation. I said it is very strange to me that Teofimo Sr. didn't express what George Kambosos did or how he fought dirty. He just kept saying his son didn't fight like that or don't fight like that. He couldn't breathe, etc. Hashtag weird. What are your thoughts on Teofimo and Teofimo Sr.'s recent interviews? Now, this was a bad loss for Teofimo, and from the outside looking in, it looks and appears more destructive because of, like, physicality. You can be wounded physically, and any physical wound or most physical wounds over time will heal, and they'll heal. But mentally, if it does something to you, and we do see this in fights where, like, Meldrick Taylor, after he lost to Julio Cesar Chavez, I don't know that he was the same phenom, right? I don't know. And there's other guys like that where, like, even look at Miguel Berchelt last night at the card that Teofimo was even at, where these interviews took place. Miguel Berchelt maybe got his soul taken from Oscar Valdez in a devastating, crushing, brutal knockout loss. And he looked bad yesterday when he was fighting against Nakathila, who Shakur Stevenson dominated. And, you know, people criticize, but you got to give Shakur Stevenson credit, because even myself criticized the performance. I just said it wasn't an exciting fight, you know, but some fights are going to be like that. Obviously, this guy has some pop or some power, but nonetheless, Shakur didn't look like Berchelt looked. So that's a testament to Shakur Stevenson. And I'd rather have an ugly win than a pretty loss, you know? So at the end of the day, Shakur did his thing. He's gearing up for the Oscar Valdez fight. Also, sidebar, Make sure you subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest news. Devin Haney and Oscar Valdez contracts have been signed. Fights taking place on ESPN. And when Fight Hype asked Tio Sr., this news hadn't necessarily come out, so it was more in the rumor stage. But he just said that I think Devin has it. I think Devin has it. I also agree with that's like one of the things that Teofimo's said in these interviews that I agree. I'm picking Devin Haney unless he gets jerked being in Australia or some politics, Pacquiao, Jeff Horn type of stuff. But back to Teofimo Lopez. So Teofimo Lopez, I'm really concerned. And if you love Teofimo, it sounds like he has a lot on his plate. And I really don't know. And I'll make several videos about this. So make sure you guys come back. I don't know how he's processing the loss because he's saying stuff like he was on the ESPN telecast and it sounded like all over the place. It didn't really sound coherent to me. He was saying, be like water. They said, what did you learn? He said a lot. It didn't sound like he's processing it. Now, fast forward to the future, your dad is saying my son was uncoachable because he couldn't breathe. It's like, which one is it? What are we talking about? This is getting real crazy for the Teofimos. Even worse for Teofimo Lopez. See, I don't forget. I remember what you told me. I remember all the things that you guys tell me. See, I'm the encyclopedia of boxing. I don't forget these things. November 8th, 2020, 2 years ago, right? Teofimo says, stop being a beezy to Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder after he took his first professional loss to Tyson Fury, right? He said, stop being a bitch. Teofimo slams Deontay Wilder like Onyx. Slam. Da, 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 da. Right? I made other follow-up videos almost a year ago when he lost to Kambosos. November 28, 2021. You see Google front page, made it ma. What does Teofimo think of Deontay Wilder now? Because he just lost to Kambosos and he claims that he beat Kambosos, which nobody else believes. Says Teofimo tells Deontay Wilder to stop being a beezy after making a number of wild excuses for the Tyson Fury defeat. See, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun though. Teofimo and his dad, to me, are going out bad because everything that y'all claimed Deontay Wilder or Teofimo Jr. is claiming Wilder was doing is making excuses. That's what these sound like to me, excuses. You're saying Kambosos is dirty, but he's dirty based on what? You didn't give one example. You said your son couldn't breathe. He couldn't breathe because of Kambosos? Did Kambosos poison him? Did Kambosos stab him? Give him $150? What happened? What did Kambosos do? If anything, I think this is a diluted state that the Teofimos sound like they're in, and they're saying stuff that it makes me question the future of Teofimo. Even Tim Bradley yesterday, when he was interviewing Teofimo, he said, yeah, all the physical stuff's cool. How are you up here? Because it sounds like he's gone. I mean, I'm just being real. I got to keep it real. I made my name in this game being real. So it ain't going to stop now after this many years, a decade plus. I'm still doing it. I'm still number one. You know, I'm still doing it, man. Come on. So it's not looking good for Teofimo Lopez because it's like addiction. If you have a gambling addiction, the first step to recovery is admitting that gambling, you have a problem. If you're like, oh, I'm just going to the Cash Creek, I'm going to the casino losing, money, I can't pay my bills, and you don't think it's a problem, then you're not going to be able to solve it because in your mind, you're not coming to grips with the reality. You're saying Kambosos is dirty. What did he do? Because to me, I thought Teofimo, in all honesty, fought foolishly. He came out mad aggressive and he was trying to bank on Kambosos. They're saying all this esophagus blew up and his sphincter fell out and all that. That's what they're saying. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of it has to do with your game plan. You disrespected Kambosos. I didn't see anything about him fighting foul, or I've seen dirty fights. I didn't see that. I didn't see him fighting dirty or whatever. So, and he's talking about Haney got it. Why didn't you fight Haney? I don't know. It's just I'm definitely worried for the Teofimos because I didn't like what I was hearing. It's just that simple. You know, to each his own. They're grown men. They can say whatever they want. But it didn't sound good. It didn't sound like Teofimo's in a good mental space, especially if you're claiming the only reason you lost was Kambosos cheated. Devin Haney, Kambosos is up next. Subscribe. I'll be covering the latest and greatest, and I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.